Welcome into Outkick the Show, Thursday edition. I appreciate all of you. Want to let you know that this morning on the radio show, we gave away books for 5-star reviews. So if you are listening to this program right now and you want to get a free book, go give us a 5-star review on the Outkick podcast, and you can be well on your way to making a bundle. Also, I want to let you know, we are setting up the Outkick VIP policy in a really awesome way. So we've hired Jason Whitlock. Obviously, we have hired a ton of people. The amount of traffic on Outkick has exploded. We're going to have the best month ever in the history of the Outkick brand in June. And so I encourage all of you out there to go sign up for Outkick VIP. Jason Whitlock and I are going to be having VIP events. If you want to comment, the only way you can comment on the Outkick website is if you are a VIP. Also, we have a VIP phone line. We're going to have a VIP message board, and we're going to be doing a lot of different events. It's a good thing to sign up for if you are a fan of Outkick and you want to basically invest in the brand. Go get Outkick VIP subscriptions. You get an autographed copy of my book, latest book, as a part of that as well. So, a lot of awesome things up on Outkick. I'd encourage you to bookmark outkick.com. Apologies to everybody. I knocked us off the line this morning when in the final 10 minutes of the show, I just decided to tell people, hey, go to Outkick, check it out, and let me know what you think on the radio show. And so many thousands of you listening live on the radio show went straight to the website that you literally knocked us offline and we got a denial of service. So that was on your boy. We haven't had good enough hosting software because the crowds have been so immense. We're going to have millions of readers this month. By football season, I think we're going to be doing north of 10 million unique readers a month. I mean, we're talking about monster crowds rolling into Outkick. And we got a lot that we need to take care of, but go sign up for Outkick VIP. All right, coronavirus update. The media, I know, has lost its mind again. The media has lost its mind over what's going to happen in Florida and Texas and Arizona, although they're mostly ignoring California. The truth of the matter is this. So far this week, Sunday and Monday, deaths were down 90% from the high set on April 21st. On Tuesday, they were basically flat. Now, sometimes it can be hard to adjust because there are lots of states reporting additional deaths. Wednesday, deaths were down 10% from the week before. So deaths overall down around 10 or 15% at least so far this week over last week. And now New Jersey has come bowling in, and they are adding nearly 2,000 deaths to their total. So it will be curious to see how the media covers this because New Jersey just came in and added a whole bunch of probable deaths, 1,877 deaths out of nowhere from New Jersey today. So it'll be interesting to see whether the media covers this honestly and actually looks at the daily death total reports, or whether they come parachuting in and attempt to argue, oh my God, everybody's dying. We told you everybody was going to die. Now it's the case. Amazingly, Andrew Cuomo is lecturing people in the state of Florida, even though almost everybody who has actually gotten the virus and spread it in the state of Florida came from New York. And even though New York has a death rate 11 times the death rate of Florida so far, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely crazy that Andrew Cuomo, who sent infected patients into nursing homes and led to tens of thousands of deaths in New York, would be lecturing anybody on anything. It's absolute insanity. But that is the latest. I'm looking at deaths because deaths are a reliable number somewhat, although we know that they're all a mess because there's a difference between, which a lot of people are missing, there's a difference between dying with something and dying from something. And most people in the media are not recognizing that distinction, which is why really we won't know what the death toll from the coronavirus is until the end of the year. Because until we can compare the deaths in 2020 with the deaths from 2019, 2018, 2017, and so on, a lot of the people, almost all of them who are dying with comorbidities. That means that they are, if you have cancer and you die of the coronavirus, you're a coronavirus death. If you have the flu and pneumonia and the coronavirus, you are dying of the coronavirus for purposes of listing. So the question that I have had for a long time, and we probably won't know if ever until next year, is how many people died in excess of what would have been expected in 2020. That's when we'll actually see what the impact is from the coronavirus. But again, deaths this week down massively on Sunday, Monday, flat on Tuesday, down again on Wednesday. They're trending to be down again on Thursday today, notwithstanding the fact that New Jersey just dropped 1,877 new deaths that happened back in March and April into today's numbers. All right, let's talk about Bubba Wallace for a second. NASCAR put out a picture of the alleged noose, and this is my issue with the whole way this started. All right, this story started on Sunday night when NASCAR put out this picture. All right, put out this statement. All right, we are angry and outraged and cannot state strongly enough how seriously we take this heinous act. We have launched an immediate investigation and will do everything we can to identify the person or persons responsible and eliminate them from the sport. NASCAR didn't wait for the investigation. They didn't wait for the 15 people from the FBI to investigate this and find out that this had nothing to do whatsoever with Bubba Wallace. They immediately leapt to this conclusion and said, this is a heinous act. It's not a heinous act. All NASCAR had to do was wait on the data, wait on the investigation. They didn't have to say anything at all publicly. They didn't need to make a statement, right? And this is the big issue that I have with the culture that we find ourselves in now. People need to have opinions before the facts are actually in. NASCAR called this a heinous act and said they would do everything they could to identify the person or persons responsible and eliminate them from the sport, all before they knew whether there was any factual basis to this at all. And so, this is a disaster of NASCAR's own creation. Now, to their credit, the NASCAR drivers and the NASCAR staff helped to cover up the mess that NASCAR created, but they could have had a private investigation and they wouldn't have needed to worry about any of this, okay? Everybody is so afraid of the woke mob that they are bending the knee before they even know what the facts of a case are. NASCAR created this entire mess. People are like, oh, social media is a mess. Well, that's because NASCAR came out and everybody reacted when they called it a heinous act. And they said they're going to do everything they can to identify the person or persons responsible and eliminate them from the sport. NASCAR didn't wait for the investigation, so they had egg all over themselves, all over their face, when the actual results came back and they said, wait a minute, this has been here for a long time. It had nothing to do with Bubba Wallace. Now, I'm a little bit curious why that rope was tied the way it was. I'm not an expert. A lot of you out there, I imagine, are fishermen, and I am told that is a common way to tie a rope for fishermen. And somebody can get in the comments and actually talk about it if they want, if you are an expert. The thing is, there are all different sorts of ways to tie ropes, right? Like, it's commonplace. My kids were in the Boy Scouts. You learn so many different ways to actually go out and make sense of a tie rope. And so this is not an uncommon thing. The idea out there that everything with a loop is a noose is just not accurate, right? There are lots of different innocuous ways. In fact, almost no one actually makes a noose for any reason today. These are common boat tying techniques, all different sorts of scenarios. It's nonsensical. NASCAR overreacted in their statement. I'm not saying by investigating it. I'm saying they overreacted in their statement when they called it a heinous act and when they promised to, quote, eliminate the person or persons responsible from the sport. That's not in any way remotely defensible by NASCAR. All right, so that is my thoughts on the continuing ongoing story of the Talladega rope pull incident. All right, so that is that story. Gator bait. Speaking of stupidity, all right. Speaking of stupidity, the Gator bait chant last week, I think it was banned by Florida, even though they had no evidence that there were any racist connotations at all. Now, Lawrence Wright, did I get the name right? I think I did. Lawrence Wright, a former Florida Gator defensive player, has come out and he has said, beyond a shadow of a doubt, in his opinion, that he's responsible for the Gator bait chant. Now, I don't know how many Florida Gator fans we have on Facebook or Periscope watching this right now, but I talked about this on the show last week. I love the Gator bait chant, and this is coming from a guy who has been Gator bait a lot, all right? I'm a University of Tennessee fan. I'm not sure there's any team in America that has hoped it wasn't going to be Gator bait and actually ended up Gator bait more than I have, all right? And so when you hear the Gator bait chant, it is a fantastic college football chant. And they are saying, you ain't Gator. If you ain't a Gator, you're Gator bait, whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, gay or straight, whatever religion you are. If you're not a Gator, you are Gator bait, all right? That is a fantastic cheer. Now, one of the creators, although I think this thing's been going on for longer than the 90s, but a guy from the early 90s who's a black former Florida Gator player says that he was responsible for creating the Gator bait chant and that he's going to go talk to Florida because it makes absolutely no sense to actually block it and end up with the Gator chant canceled because there's no racist intent there at all. I got to tell you, this is absolutely absurd, all right? There is, in fact, no evidence of any black person ever being used as Gator bait anywhere in the history of the state of Florida. Zero, all right? So, are there racist cartoons from the turn of the century? Sure, but that is pretty much it, all right? So, you need to go and actually do research instead of trying to ban everything. And again, I would reiterate this. Why would you try to ban something that isn't racist today because you're concerned that it might have been racist 200 years ago? Wouldn't you be happy that something that used to be racist is no longer racist? I mean, that seems to me like a pretty strong sign of a society evolving. For instance, the Constitution of the United States used to be racist. And then it was amended, and now everyone is equal under the law in the United States Constitution. Should we ban the United States Constitution because over 200 years ago it had racist language? Or should we acknowledge that the meaning of the Constitution today, post-amendment, is different than the meaning of the Constitution 200 years ago? It's just lunacy not recognizing that times change. Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin were in the state capitol surrounding the drama of the Confederate flag in the state of Mississippi. They were wearing masks, and Mike Leach pulled Lane Kiffin's mask off and smacked it back on his face. This is going to be an incredible rivalry. All right. I love everything about Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach in the state of Mississippi going head to head in the Egg Bowl. This is going to be a phenomenal rivalry all over the state of Mississippi. But if you had any doubts about how great it's going to be, Mike Leach pulling Lane Kiffin's mask off in the state capitol and having it pop back on his face. The pirate Mike Leach, who, by the way, did a big discussion, it seems like ages ago, about the Tiger King. Remember when everybody was watching the Tiger King on Netflix? Go all the way back to March, and you can go listen to a big discussion, and you will enjoy it beyond a doubt at all. So I encourage you to go check that out, all right? That video, maybe we can even put it in as a part of this clip. Amazon, which I'm a shareholder of, full disclosure. I have Amazon stock, I have Netflix stock, I have a bunch of these big companies that have been doing well even in the pandemic. They have decided to buy the naming rights to a new arena in downtown Seattle, which will have a hockey team as well as a WNBA team. Amazon wins the naming rights, and they have decided to name the arena in vintage Seattle style, Climate Pledge Arena, to fight global warming by running the largest logistics company in the world and owning more vans probably than any company in the world as well. Now, Climate Pledge Arena, on behalf of Amazon, is going to be interesting because I'm not sure that they've talked with the leaders of Chaz, which is the autonomous country that has been founded in the streets of Seattle, to get the approval of the residents of Chaz to see what they think about Climate Pledge Arena. I'm not sure that the leaders of Chaz have signed off on this. I hope that Amazon has gotten the requisite governmental authority approval in order to make this happen. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese has filed for bankruptcy. It's a sad day. All right? I have been, along with many other dads and moms, in Chuck E. Cheese. I have eaten a lot of that pizza. I have watched all those old school animatronic events. I have paid God knows how much money for my kids to play all of the different games. This is a brutal moment for American families across the country. Chuck E. Cheese, because of the pandemic, has filed for bankruptcy. And I hope that someone is going to rescue them from bankruptcy, bring them back, because if Chuck E. Cheese is gone forever, America is a sadder place. Rip Chuck E. Cheese indeed. The Kentucky Derby, you want some good news. Kentucky Derby announced it will be played in September. Remember, the race in September, and they are going to have fans present. It's a great sign if you're a college football fan, certainly if you're a college football fan in the SEC or in the state of Kentucky. If they are having the Kentucky Derby with fans, the Derby is more about, I'm going to be honest with you, more about the social event than it is the actual race for the vast majority of people. It's almost impossible to socially distance there at all. So I have to give credit to the Kentucky Derby and also to the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville, which I believe now, am I correct in this? Somebody will know in the comments. Louisville opens on a Wednesday now, right? The first game of college football for Louisville, I think they moved their game to a Wednesday. And the University of Kentucky definitely opens their season on a Thursday. But can somebody out there confirm that Louisville now is playing on a Wednesday, Kentucky is playing on a Thursday, and then the Kentucky Derby will be on a Saturday? So there are some of you out there who may try to pull off a triple header there. You could go to Louisville's game on Wednesday, the University of Kentucky's game on Thursday, come back to Louisville for the Kentucky Derby on a Saturday. That would be pretty fantastic. But that's a great weekend in the Commonwealth. Jay Cutler has got a serial killing animal killing his chickens in his backyard at his farm. Jay Cutler just lives down the road a little bit from me, outside of Nashville. I'm not sure who the killer chicken is, but Jay Cutler is on the case. I would watch a Jay Cutler investigates a serial killing animal show, and I'm probably going to keep tabs on this. You can go read about it at Outkick. The NFL has pushed back the Hall of Fame game. It was scheduled for August 6th. The NFL now not going to play the first preseason game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys on August 6th. I don't know about you guys. I think the NFL should X out the entire preseason. We easily every year manage to play college football games without any preseason games. You have got kids who were in high school last year, and the next time they step on the field, they are in a major game. There will be kids from USC and Alabama who are coming straight from high school that will next step on the field to play against grown men head-to-head. I don't know why anybody cares about the preseason. I'm a season ticket holder. I hate the fact that I pay 20% of my season ticket cost for games that I have zero interest to go to at all. I don't believe that the NFL needs any preseason games at all. I would cancel it and just start the season without the preseason this year. Also, this is a really tough story. I'm going to finish with this. I believe I've hit everything else that I was going to talk about. You think you might have a rough life. Everybody out there, they're like, man, 2020 has been tough. I don't know when this season, when this calendar year is going to be over. It is absolutely brutal to even think about it. Listen to me right now. Things could be worse. In Cambodia, a man went swimming, tried to cool off in the water, and things went horribly wrong. A leech swam up into his penis through the pee hole, and while that leech was there inside of his penis, he sucked up a pint of blood inside of the pee hole, which made it nearly impossible for the man to pee. He went into the doctor's office, and a doctor decided that he had to remove the leech. Now, how about you? The worst thing I can think about is somebody needing to perform surgery inside of my pee hole. In my entire body, the worst place I can imagine for a doctor to need to operate is inside of the pee hole. The very idea of anything going inside of my pee hole makes me want to sign out of life. I'm sorry, right now, if you told me that I had stuff in my pee hole, I would tell you right now, it's been a good 41 years, I am gone, all right? The doctor somehow electrocuted a leech inside of his pee hole. They then removed the leech through his pee hole, which had to be the most painful surgery in the history of mankind. And then he went home. They didn't even keep him overnight. I don't know about you, but the idea that you could have a leech which has eaten a pint of your blood pulled out of your pee hole and they don't even keep you overnight is terrifying to me. And I will just say this. A lot of you out there, it's the summer, and you're going to be thinking about going skinny dipping. And let me tell you this right now. I'm never going in the water without pants again. I don't know where the leech might be. I don't know what might happen. But if it could possibly go in my pee hole, that's a bad day. That's a bad life. I'm tapping out right there. That's a rough 2020. So a lot of you out there, you're like, oh, I want to go skinny dipping. Yeah, it all sounds good until a leech goes into your pee hole. And you might die trying to pee. All right? So all I'm saying to you is things could be worse. You could be in Cambodia. You could have gone skinny dipping. And you could have ended up with a leech in your penis. Always something worse out there. Even if 2020 has been rough for you, at least you don't have a leech in your penis. All right. My name is Clay Travis. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. I would say an SBAP example, by the way. Maybe wear pants when you're jumping in a lake that might have leeches. Just an idea. I hope all of you have a great night. Kisses. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern on Outkick. We got a fun show. Chris Mannix, Bobby Barack, and Ryan Glasspiegel scheduled to join us. I will see you tomorrow. DBAP, like I said, unless you need to SBAP. Bye. See y'all. Love you, Facebook. Just remember, life could always be worse. You could have a leech in your pee hole. I'll see you.